Welcome to What's Brewing with ONTAP. I am Eduardo Rivera, and I am going to talk to you about ONTAP. Now, before I get started, let me share with you my latest glass that I have. Maybe not latest, it's pretty old. This guy's ONTAP Mobility Ale. I have some water here. Again, doing this in the morning. But yeah, another one of these things that we have as part of our ONTAP tradition and affinity with beer. But today I wanted to talk to you about a trend and a reality, I'll say, that we've seen in NetApp IT, and I think people have seen in the industry, and that is automation, right? And automation of storage services particularly, right? Over the past, over many several years, right? We've seen an uptick, an interest in automating the infrastructure, delivering everything IT has to do as a service, making it immediate, creating a button for the user to click and create things. And that means for the storage administrators, like myself and my team, we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to, create code and integrate ONTAP and other storage platforms into automated infrastructure that delivers its services. Now, in that area, within NetApp, we've seen, I'll say, three areas that are of particular interest. One is storage for containerized environments, right? This is providing storage for containers running Kubernetes, and today ONTAP does that through something we call Trident. Number two is this idea of managing your storage infrastructure through code, or infrastructure as code. It's about configuration state, making sure that things are a particular way, and if they're not, just making it so automatically. And we do that through the usage of Ansible and the Ansible ONTAP modules that have been developed. And lastly, there's also a lot of additional, I'll say, more custom code, a lot of Python and other scripts that have been created to do a plethora of different activities within the storage infrastructure. And to integrate that more easily, I think starting with ONTAP 9.6, we started to introduce what we call what are the REST APIs of ONTAP, really enabling a standardized way of talking to ONTAP through whatever code you may develop. I'll go a little deeper on each one of these things. And I'll start with Trident, right? So I said Trident provides storage for Kubernetes, but what does that mean? That means that when we have a Kubernetes cluster hosting a collection of containers, pods or organizing containers, the configuration file that goes into building those containers will determine that that application or that container requires some storage. And the way that this works is Kubernetes understands that and then tries to provide that storage from the pool that has been assigned to it. Well, Trident is a service that runs in that Kubernetes cluster, understands its configuration file, and then can communicate to the storage backend, in this case ONTAP, to create that volume and provide it to the container immediately, right? Without anyone in between, without any type of manual process, and it can provision all the storage on the fly, and again, as the container is instantiated. So it's a way to really automate this need and have your containerized storage sitting on a platform as proposed at ONTAP, which means you can take advantage of snapshots and cloning and other features that we like about the platform. Now, the other thing about automation that I talked about was really about infrastructure as code, and for that, our tool of choice has been Ansible, not just for ONTAP but for other infrastructure, but in ONTAP specifically. Many years ago, I think back in May 2018, NetApp released this Ansible ONTAP modules that really, for us anyways, changed the game of how we think about configuration management. What do I mean by that? Ansible, as a team of people that are not necessarily coders as their first job, made it really easy for us to build these configuration files, which we call playbooks, to determine how ONTAP should behave, meaning like I want this setting on this type of VM, I want volumes to be created with this particular set of settings. We can create this very easily using Ansible playbooks, and the Ansible modules that have been created for ONTAP translate those playbooks into commands that are executed against all the filers and maintains the configuration state the way it is. Not only are we doing configuration items as I mentioned, but we're using Ansible playbooks to build ONTAP volumes, to build SVMs, to build things, also the components within the infrastructure. And because of the nature of Ansible being a tool that we call about idempotency, really the ability that when it executes against your set of clients, if that setting is already set, it just leaves it alone. If it's not, it changes it. We are able to run these playbooks on an ongoing basis to maintain the configuration. And last but not least, I mentioned REST at the beginning, and REST stands for representation state transfer, which is it's a common architecture out there that if you're doing any type of coding these days, you know what REST is. And we have introduced REST APIs in ONTAP 9.6 and above. And the idea is that now, whatever code you're writing, you can go ahead and use these REST APIs to get predictable results in terms of getting data back, putting querying the infrastructure for information, as well as making changes, right? It's not just about getting data, it's about making changes. But the whole point about REST is that it makes it easy for you to integrate common language applications that you may develop to maintain your own environment. And as we go forward, I think REST is going to continue to play a central role of how we manage ONTAP and how we interact with it in the future. Now, with all that said, there's a lot of automation stuff. There's a lot to dig into there. And I'll say that as a storage administrator that's been evolving with the times and understanding how things are changing, it is important that we all get with the program of automation and start learning a little bit of this new technologies to be effective at how we're managing our storage infrastructure in the future. And with that said, thank you again for joining us today, and I'll see you next time.